everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new war spy thriller dropped on Netflix. It's called Munich, The Edge of War, and it is starring George Mackey, Jeremy Irons, and this movie is directed by Christian Suchacho. So whenever World War movies drops on Netflix, I see this, they trend for days on Netflix. So there's many friends out there for World War One and Two wars movie. So I do imagine many people will be checking this out. So what do I think about overall this movie is kind of mixed. So I'll get to it, like what do I like about this movie. So I really like all the acting in this movie, especially for George McKay. He's like a perfect casting for this movie. The minute you see him on screen, especially the role he's playing and all the things they ask him to do in this movie, I thought really he was so amazing in this movie. So is this actor. His name is Janice Neuner. So I never seen this actor before. But I really liked him in this movie a lot, especially when we start this movie with him. Like, we don't know, is he a good guy, bad guy? What is his motive in this movie? The way this movie build up his character, I was really very surprised end of this movie because I didn't read the synopsis for this movie. So I didn't know he's actually playing this diplomat in this movie. Many people like me will not read synopsis, just straight see this movie and you will see his character. How this movie slowly builds his character. I really liked it a lot. As I was saying, I really like George McKay's character. But what I love most about in this movie is every time these two actors on screen in this movie, you really like their story, their drama. They had such a good chemistry with each other. Same time, these two people's story were really center story here. Same time, very well written, but also same time very well acted. So it's based on a true story. So you know how this movie gonna end. Although I see some people are thrown off by how this movie was ended. Whenever movie is based on a true story, it's really hard to make because you don't know what to take, what to cut out, and that's why that is my biggest problem with this movie is the way this writer or director he craft this movie. The first act for this movie, it's hard to get in. You are like, oh my god, what is happening? Like, this movie slowly it builds up a story, and once we go to the climax, it's become, or should I say, once we reach the halfway through this movie, it was very interesting. Honestly, I was almost reading off this movie when I was watching it. I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Because whenever I'm making my review on a war movie, I'm still making my review based on how entertaining it was, or like how I don't make my review based on like how true to the story they're telling. Because it doesn't matter, you based on true story, still your movie need to be entertaining. That is what I think personally. I think many people who watch this simply watch on movies on Netflix. That is what they think. And platform like Netflix, there is 1,000 movie on it. So this movie does take a lot of time to build the story. But once you go to the middle and the last act, I found this movie was quite interesting. But I cannot ignore how long it took to get to that interesting part. That's why this movie is definitely mixed. Like, you have to sit through a lot of stuff. That is, I really didn't like the way this movie's like the one character he looked. I was like, that's not how he looked. So I don't actually know if I can say this word because it's on YouTube, you're not allowed to say many words. So I don't know. So I actually didn't like the way this character looked in this movie. I was really thrown off. He looked little all his eyes, the way his hair, makeup, I did not like. I felt like it wasn't very accurate. That is the other thing I didn't like. Overall, what I like in this movie is how this movie looked really amazing when you watch it. You're like, ooh, production design really top notch. And also all the costume, they are top notch too. Some of the character may be made up because you can always make accurate. And here is my thing, if you are making up some stuff, that's why it's a director responsibility to make this movie end of the day still entertaining, or make it at least thrilling to watch, especially when you are watching spy thriller. Unfortunately, this movie is not as good as the recently one of the movie I saw on Netflix. Although, what is that movie name? I forgot really. But I will put the link so you know which movie, because I made a review on it. So a movie like this, whenever it comes on Netflix, I imagine many people will be commenting, why did you say that? You don't understand war movie. As I was saying, I gave my review based on how entertaining it is, and there is many things you will not like, or this movie will not answer, but that's how the war movie goes. Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to share my other reviews. Please subscribe and take care.